The outside is pretty much what I expected. A gray warehouse behind some gas station in the dumpy part of town. The inside, however, is surprisingly clubby. White leather chairs, a wine bar, and an ammo vending machine. This is the Cadillac of gun clubs, says my instructor, Joe, an NRA certified shooting enthusiast. Pointing to his American flag neck gaiter, he says he has a hard time talking through a face covering. Anybody gonna freak out if I take it off? It's a full year into the pandemic, Joe. Besides, the neck gaiter's gonna do just about as much good on his neck than it would on his face, so who has strength to complain? I inch my seat away from Joe, and we go on. Joe asks us to go around the circle and introduce ourselves. Well, I'm reluctant to say what's brought me here on this bitter January morning. Reluctant to explain to a room full of white people why an NRA-hating, progressive, Black woman has decided to get a gun. In 2021, the Firearm Industry Trade Association saw 87% of gun retailers report a sales bump from a surprising group: Black women. Historically, one of the most liberal-leaning communities has increasingly turned right on this particular issue, leaving politicians and columnists to scramble to capitalize on that dissonance. Author Kim McLaren is less concerned with stats, though, and more focused on the personal toll facing more and more Black women today. It's not that we're not afraid of firearms. It's that some things are more terrifying than a gun. On White Violence, Black Survival, and Learning to Shoot by Kim McLaren. The basic firearms safety course approved by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts does not require live fire to be part of the course. Hey, but still, Joe assures us we're actually going to shoot. I want this class to be fun. The word fun startles me. I didn't come to a class about weapons expecting to have fun. I've never held a gun, never fired one, and never wanted to. My family's full of veterans, so I have experience, but having a gun in the house makes me feel less safe. Not more. Then George Floyd was murdered. The most recent victim in this endless stream. I mean, they tried to intimidate voters. They ran over protesters, and cops winked and smiled as armed white cultists roamed the country. Look, all safety is just an illusion. It just matters which illusion we pick. Been thinking about this for a while? Joe asks. No, I'm just kind of curious about this whole thing. Joe asks us to go around the circle. These two young brothers explained that they're here because a lot of their friends are getting into shooting. It looks cool. But in the back of the class, with his hand shoved deep into his pockets, Mr. Hoodie says, "I want a gun for self-defense." He's the only one who offers he might use the gun to kill someone. I don't know if that makes him more dangerous or just more honest. But I'm not a violent person, though. I've never even fired a gun. I've never been in a fight. I've never hit or kicked or punched anyone. Most of the violence I watched as a kid was enacted mostly by white people on TV. From heroic cops to cowboys, white people strutted through my living room forever solving their problems with guns. Oh, black folks, on the other hand, strikingly nonviolent. The only acceptable stance for us was non-resistant suffering, as slaves in roots literally outran or outsmarted or just endured. That message was absorbed long before it was even understood. Especially if one is non-wealthy, black, and female. But more and more, I keep finding myself just getting angry. Is it possible to be angry without being violent? Your turn, Joe says. I'm nervous. Don't be. I'll take good care of you. And I marvel at this man's certainty. A person that he's known for less than 4 hours stands 6 inches away with this loaded gun. All safety is just an illusion. But maybe it doesn't seem that way when society's always given you power and protected you from feeling powerless. My hands shake as I put in my earplugs and safety goggles. And it strikes me that I'm about to step willingly into a room full of armed strangers, most of which are male, all of them white. God, this is insane. Joe opens the door to the range. Silence. But a question keeps replaying itself in my mind. Why do I want a gun? One of my friends is really appalled at my change of heart, but she's white. My black friends keep asking me where the class is and how much it costs. Why do I want a gun? Another one of my friends says the right answer to this question is, for all legal purposes. He's black and understands the irony of that statement, because rarely is the law ever a black person's friend. Why do I want a gun? Because I know the long, bloody history of white supremacy in this country, and when armed white cultures start roaming the country as they have before, I intend to sit on my porch with my legal handgun, Scotch ammunition, and I'm going to take them as they come. So I pull the trigger, and I pull the trigger, and I pull the trigger, and pull the trigger. Is it possible to be angry without being violent? I don't know anymore. Joe says I need frequent trips back to the range to keep up my skills. But I disagree. Say I only wanted to learn how to safely load and unload my gun, and say I don't want to become a markswoman. As gently as I can.